Hi, I'm Bonnie.
And I'm Margie. And I'm Emily. And a friend and I were recently talking about the mind body spirit connection. And I wanted to explore that topic with you guys. So, what started the conversation was I feel like I've had all this awareness and been doing workshops and really building on my mind. And something happened in that process that I wasn't expecting is that my spiritual connection grew. And I did not intend for that to happen because I'd struggled with that. And effortlessly, I had this amazing connection to spirit that I've never had before, and it's growing. And so, what we were talking about is that maybe the body will just kind of integrate itself like that, and the health and all that. So, that's where that topic came from.
Cool, thanks. My first thought is that it can be any piece leading, that we first of all, we're a whole being. And we divide ourselves up into these parts because it's one of the things our minds can do. And it's one way of exploring who we are. Different people have different strengths. I'm like you, I'm a head person. Margie, you used to be too. We could think, we could articulate well, but I was living from here up. You know, I would analyze, but that would take me out of the moment. What moment? There are other people who live in their hearts and their bodies, and they're real good at the earlier video. Well, where do you feel it? Ask ahead where it feels, and it's going to look at you as if you're crazy and not have a clue. For me, it's not one is better than the other, but to notice what our habit is and move. So for me, being a head person, coming and living in my body, noticing, being present, breathing, whatever, was an expansion. For somebody that lives here, learning to rely on some thinking might expand their beingness, their access. Margie.
I don't know about that one.
I don't either.
I do know that the mind has its purposes, although sometimes I haven't quite figured that out. Very handy in balancing the checkbook. But it is in practical, logistic living. The mind does a good job, but it doesn't do a good job in keeping me whole, keeping me spiritual. When you said you noticed with all this work that you were doing that your spiritual connection has broadened, and for me, the innocent part of me, the what was first born was still in connection with everything, and so when I access that in me, whether it be that memory or that peace, I have a greater connection to spirit. But what you were talking about, if you take care of your mind and your spirit, the body follows. That has been my recent experience. I've struggled with weight my entire life. People start to tell me about diets, and it's like I've lost 3 people. But
how many wardrobes?
But I've gained them all back.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I gave up dieting, I gave up worrying about it, and I eat whatever the heck I want to eat, and I enjoy it, and I ask my body, and I recognize that I'm losing weight. People have told me I'm losing weight, and I've been so unconcerned with what I'm eating, other than do I want to eat it?
Right now.
Right in this moment. And it's funny because occasionally I've been craving a salad or some vegetables, and that's what I eat. Other times I want ice cream, and that's what I eat. And my body is getting smaller.
Again, interesting segue. There's no such thing as again. I have moments where I crave something, whether it's ice cream or bread or something. I have a different experience. I know that if I just sit with and hold the desire for a moment, knowing that after the first taste of ice cream, or knowing how my body processes certain foods, whether it's a weight gaining issue or elimination, or where it takes my mind. Do I beat myself up afterward? It's nice to say, oh, I shouldn't, but sometimes I still do. If I overeat, if I, you know, and so for me, it's like holding the desire for a moment, and sometimes that's enough. It dissolves without buying the half a gallon of ice cream, which I then eat in the next. I either eat it, throw it down the toilet, or give it away. But within 24 hours, that's gone.
And I'm beginning to have such a different reaction to all of it. There was a time that I really went into, how much do I need to eat? Am I satisfied? And I would eat less. I've gone totally different. I've gone wherever I want. I ate pizza last night, and I ate a slice more than was really comfortable with my body. But my next thought after, not real but I have a great body, I digest well, and I'll eliminate it quickly. And guess what? I wasn't even uncomfortable.
Yes, and that's the power to come back to your question, because we kind of didn't go off on a tangent here. The idea of mind, body, spirit, the way we talk to ourselves, the things that we say to ourselves. I'm bad for having done something is actually more detrimental than whatever we might have eaten, or however much we might have eaten. Learning to listen to the body, which again, for one who used to live pretty much in my head, saying, okay, well, I'm going to ask my body in this moment what it wants. I pop right up to my head. What does my head say I should eat or I should want? But there's this elegant dance that we're all starting to experience as we allow it. That, first of all, it doesn't matter on some level.
This is the other one, is there was a time I believed this, and then I went totally into the mind and figuring everything out. Sometimes I have to believe it, and then I will see. No, all the time. I have to see it and believe it, and then I see it. And then somewhere I switched to, I have to see it before I believe it, and my life fell apart. And now I'm believing that we're creator beings, we're piece of God, we have as much power as God, kind of. Haven't gotten totally there yet, but realizing how much more we create by our beliefs. I've always been a dreamer, and it's funny because I look back over my life and I was a little kid and I was poor. And I'd wander around thinking, well, maybe somebody will die and leave me money. It's like, no, you're so far away from any relatives that have any money. Nobody's going to leave you anything. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll meet some old person and I'll be kind to them and they'll leave me their estate. And it happened like 25 years later. They weren't wealthy. They left me the equivalent of about $40,000. But $40,000 into a poor life is quite a difference. And I thought, I dreamed of this when I was 8.
Yes, and go ahead. Do you have some?
I just, to me, I see motives being key to that. You know what I mean? The good motives and once again the love. You know, and being kind, and that makes that dream a reality. You know.
Thanks.
And I wasn't kind to this person because I thought they were going to die and leave me money. I was kind. Actually, they said to me one time, how come you're so good to me? And I said, because someday I'm going to be old and I want some young person to be nice to me.
The issue of time that you pointed out, that you dreamed something as a young person, and it just went up into the ethers, into spirit, and you received it many, many years later, maybe not even having remembered for chunks of time. I too get that I'm a manifester, We all are.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where I get that I'm a manifester and I've dreamed something here, and years later there's, oh, I'm living what I imagined. So time is an interesting play, and that goes back to wherever we are, start with where we are. If I'm a body person, start there. Don't dismiss somebody who's a mind person, because we tend to do that. Oh, if you're not doing it my way, you're doing it wrong. Instead of, you're not doing it my way. Tell me more, because I now have a new place to play, explore, discover, uncover. And Margie, I see you've got
Well,
something.
it's another place of acceptance.
Of self and others?
I think it's both, and we try to make it one or the other. The more accepting I am of you, the more accepting I am of me, the more accepting I am of me, the more accepting I am of you. It gets back to just acceptance. The more accepting I am.
To me, that comes back to, is it mind, body, or spirit? No. Change the word or to and, because then it's your way and my way. In reality,
Which is our way, and there's really only one of us here.
which is a
Which
whole
I
nother
can't wrap my
cover.
mind
I know,
around
that's a whole
either,
nother
but
cover.
my heart
Yes.
believes it.
Absolutely.
One of the ways that I get that is when I'm sad and you're sad, we look the same, we sound the same. What triggers your sadness, consciously or unconsciously, may be what triggers my happiness. But when I'm crying, when I'm hurt, when I'm scared, when my little kid, whatever that is scared, and yours is scared, we're one there.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of beingness, even though we've had individual unique experiences that might have led us, when we're creative is creative, joyful is joy, full of joy.
And I think going back to the topic of how they're interconnected, it doesn't matter which one we're consciously working. If we're working to benefit, be better, be more accepting, be more loving, whether it's our mind, our body, our spirit, our emotions, our whatever, our house, that all are benefiting.
It's kind of like the braid that they, like belts, because I know three-way braid, but you mentioned the four, mind, body, spirit, and our emotions. It's that braid. We are that integrated whole that's made up of those aspects that wherever we are, whatever we're looking at, is a vehicle to be in this moment, to be loving and accepting of ourselves and each other.
Great place to end.
Unless Emily.
Oh,
Emily.
Sorry, Emily.
That's okay. I love listening to you guys, and it brings up so many thoughts, and I understand that, because for me, I feel like if I had focused on spirit, that wasn't the way to get into the awareness for me, and the way to get into the awareness was mind, and it's evolved. But I also know that while I'm in that place of awareness and love, the bad behaviors or the meanness or the not understanding and intolerance, it doesn't fit in that space at all. So I really have trouble now that the lights are on. I have trouble hurting people. It doesn't fit. And if I do it, I immediately it crushes me inside the way I feel that person would feel. So I've noticed I'm a better friend, I'm a better parent, I'm a better daughter, and it just, so I do see how it has that ripple effect. It makes sense.
One of the things that I've noticed is, as I've consciously been trying to be more loving to myself, I'm becoming the person I always wanted to be.
Without having to edit, process,
Yep.
plan, just in the moment.
I am.
Yeah.
I am in
I
the
am.
moment. is I love myself in the moment I am. In our essence, I believe, is love.
Absolutely.
So thank you for posing the question. It's brought me back to my heart, and now I just feel alive, and I am, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching, listening. If you've got any comments, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to be sitting where Emily is sitting, if you live in the Melbourne area, or if you don't and would like to join us in a conversation, and it could be the kind that Emily's been doing, where she's had some questions, or some of other conversations has just been a dialogue from the very get-go. We'd love to explore with you. For now, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of our lives, letting us be part of yours. This is Bonnie.
And Margie,
And Emily.
saying goodbye.